The Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG is one of the most expensive card games to play, but with websites like Nikijo Collectibles, Cherry Collectibles, and Australian Yu-Gi-Oh! Auctions, most of the cards you need are only one mouse click away. But what would happen if these sites just disappeared and we were left to source our cards only from sealed product? Rather than relying on these sites, we'd be relying on nothing more than the luck to pull the cards we need to complete our already bullshit expensive Yu-Gi-Oh! Decks. Over the coming weeks and months, starting with nothing more than 3 structure decks and a budget of $60 a week, I am going to build a competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck with the goal of reaching the Oceanic World Championship qualifying event. Stick around to see me waste hundreds of dollars, open a ton of sealed product, and hopefully kick a few butts along the way. This is Sealed Only Yu-Gi-Oh! The Shaddoll Showdown. What's up guys, welcome back to episode 16 of Sealed Only Yu-Gi-Oh! We had a massive opening in episode 15. Today we are back to our regular $60 budget. I hope you are all getting behind every single episode and really smashing that like button. My stats are showing that a lot of you aren't subscribed, but you are still watching the videos. So take some time during this video to just scroll down a little bit and hit that subscribe button. Let's get on with today's opening. We are still hunting down that copy of Cross Sheep. We need that one for our extra deck, so we are going to try and pull that. We're also looking for a few more extenders to really help our deck out. So what I've done is I've gone and I found some Shadow Specters to find a common copy of the Black and White Dragon, Wyver Burster, and Collop Serpent, respectively. They were $3 each. This guy here was, I think, $13, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 packs of the hard to find Toon Chaos in an attempt to try and pull a copy or two of Chaos Space. Guys, I'm excited. I haven't opened Shadow Specters for such a long time. So I do know that this we have Ghost Rares and we have Ultimate Rares in here, so we have the opportunity to pull something completely magical out of this. We are going to get stuck straight into it. Remember that in our special edition we get 3 boosters and a couple of promo cards. Promos, Goki Guts and Cyberse Accelerator. We won't be using those, so let's just put those over there. We just have to pry them open. We have to be very gentle, making sure that we don't break anything here. So what we've got, we have Ghost Strix. These are some really old cards. Oh, we have a holo straight off the bat. And we don't have any of our dragons that we are looking for. Remember, out of here, we are only looking for a rare card. The rare card is Cross Sheep. Time Thief. Here it is. Cross Sheep. Yes, there it is. We don't need to open any more Ignition Assault now. It'd be great if the card under this was a Lightning Storm. Oh, it's a Megalith. All right, so that is one crossed off the list. Cross Sheep is that big card that it's going to really help us extend our plays further and further, even if we are going second. Wow, I'm excited, guys. We've done really well so far. We finally pulled the Cross Sheep. Chain Ignition, Bajingi Crow, Bajingi Centipede. And no. Man, we are on the hunt for these common cards and we can't find it. Time for a pack of Toon Chaos. Remember, these are all rares except for the back card, which will be a holo. Masked Hero. Oh, that's a Gamma. I didn't even consider picking these up for the deck, but maybe if we pull enough of it, we'll have a set so we can run the Gamma Driver package. Dark Flare Dragon, Toon World, and we have a microcoder for our holo. Chasing down those dragons. Nothing yet. Just, geez, I didn't think it would be so hard to find these common cards. We don't need anything out of Ignition Assault, so anything we pull now is going to be an absolute bonus. Another packet of Shadow Specters. We are seriously looking for those dragons, guys. I didn't think that was so hard to come by. Oh, we have our white dragon. We have our white dragon. Okay, there we go. That is good. We have a Signet, Codec, Chaos Emperor Dragon, Masked Hero Blast, Gearbreed, Sangan, Psyframe Driver, and another Micro Coder. Wow, that's always good. Alright, here we go. We need the black dragon now. Hit that like button, guys. Give me all the luck in the world. We have another white dragon. Oh boy. We have a gravity controller. We haven't even looked at that. Gravity controller is a great way to clear up our extra monster zone if we need to. Pretty good effect as well. Sends a card back to the hand, and we have a Marincess Piscalis. Alright, that is our Ignition Assault done, but we got what we needed. We got our cross sheep. We have 4 packs total to go. Of course, we're going to finish on the Toon Chaos, being the newest set, of course. But remember, out of these packs, the Shadow Specters, we can still pull Ultimate Rares and Ghost Rares. Have a look, this is also first edition, so it's pretty special. Oh, Marina, Princess of Sunflowers. Oh my goodness, come on, one more dragon. We need a Gamma. Can we get another Gamma? Oh, let's focus. We have a driver. We only need Curse of Dragonfire, Envoy of Chaos, Light Pulsar, and a Chaos Valkyria. We are down to our last pack of Shadow Specters here. We are hoping for that black dragon. Where are you? Armed Protection, Mythic Tree, Ghost Trick Spectre. Nope. Oh, the bees had me trolled. Okay. We are on our last pack of Toon Chaos. Oh, we have a second copy of Gamma. So now we have 2 Gammas and a driver. We're doing okay. Can we pull something good? I'm going to reveal this slowly. Code Generator, Pot of Desires, and a Fluffle Angel. Well, we didn't get too much out of our Toon Chaos stuff, guys, but we did pull everything that we needed to out of our Ignition Assault, and we pulled 1 card out of the Shadow Specters that we needed. We got our White Dragon Wyver Burster. Let me go and put a deck together. Join me for the profile on the other side, and I'll see you over there.
2 hours later.
Alright, here we go with episode 16's deck profile. I want to keep this one fairly short because there weren't too many changes to the deck. I do want to run you through the deck though so you can see any changes that we have made. So first of all, we are still running the same 10 card Shaddoll engine. So we have 2 Shaddoll Squamata, 2 Re-Shaddoll Wendy, 2 Nace Shaddoll Ariel, 2 Hedgehog, 1 Beast, and 1 dragon. This 10 cards has been doing extremely well. I can't see any reason to change it anytime soon. Unless I decide I want to start playing maybe 50 odd cards in the deck. I just don't see the need to be playing any more Shaddoll monsters. There are times when an extra beast does come up and would be handy in the main deck, but I usually find a way to do without it anyway. We're running 2 copies of Damage Juggler. This guy recruits for the Trick Clown, and it also has come in handy for protecting us against any damage. We also have the Performance Trick Clown as well as the Extender in Hat-Tricker, giving us that free body on the board when there are 2 or more monsters. The Pseudo Clown is of course our Mathematician. We're running that at 2 as well. That's a great card to get things started. It's basically a 1 card Anaconda as long as we send that Trick Clown, and we get full value bringing it back to go straight into our Anaconda in our first turn. For the hand traps now, we are running both copies of Phantasme. I have considered moving this to the side deck based on the amount of link monsters that I have been playing recently, but I don't see the point just yet. We're also running 2 Nibiru just to combat that combo deck, and it is also a light target. That's our hand traps in the main deck. For our extenders and our power cards, we are running the single copy of Chaos Dragon Legionnaire, and as you saw in the opening, our 1 copy of White Dragon Wyver Burster. I really feel like we have enough dark cards in the deck now that we can afford to banish it from the graveyard to give us that free special summon. We can normal summon a Shaddoll monster, and then we can link it off for something if we can, or send it using a fusion card just to get the extra value, and then bring this out on board as another light target for us later on. We also have our danger package, which is a danger Bigfoot, a danger Thunderbird, a danger Tsuchinoko. These are good cards. They'll help get us some more draws, help us look through the deck a little bit more, and of course those bodies on board to help us go into that Anaconda play, hopefully getting into those fusion spells nice and early. Rounding off the monster count, we have the Dragon Buster Destruction Sword. I haven't been super impressed with this card yet. I feel like that when I was playing the Wizard Buster and turning off the opponent's graveyard, I was getting a lot more value. So in the future, I will be looking at actually swapping that back out. I feel like slowing down the opponent's graveyard is pretty amazing. Using Winder to control the special summoning is great, but if you can control the graveyard with Wizard Buster as well as controlling the special summoning, it is pretty unbelievable and really hard to get around. Same lineup of spell cards. I really can't see this lineup of spell cards changing. We're running our triple Shaddoll Fusion, our triple El Shaddoll Fusion, and our triple Super Polymerization. Really, there's nothing to be said here. This is what it is. It probably won't change. We're running a single copy of Pot of Avarice to help us recycle some of those cards, as well as a Foolish Burial to start kicking off our plays. If our Mathematician somehow gets negated, we can then hopefully follow up with the Foolish Burial to send, of course, either a Shaddoll monster or a copy of Trick Clown and get that in the graveyard so we can special summon it back to our side of the field. Trap cards, we are running Shaddoll Incarnation at 2 copies. Still no need to bring that up to a 3rd copy. Shaddoll Core to help us recycle these spell and trap cards. Infinite Impermanence at 2 copies just to help with those first turn negates. And of course our Gravedigger's Trap Hole that we started running last week, and fingers crossed it can come in handy in the duels this week. Into the extra deck. Not a lot has changed, guys. We are still running the 3 copies of El Shaddoll Construct, best card in the deck, will never change. 2 copies of Winder, as well as a single copy of App Cologne. Now this has gone from 2 to 1 this week based on the changes that we've made. We've got the copy of Shekinaga, the Drago Stapelia to also round off our fusion card. The Drago Stapelia was a good addition to the deck and has seen some utility in testing. We are running the copy of Cross Sheep that we pulled in this week's opening. Thank goodness we've finally got that now. I feel like it's going to help us take our plays even further. We've got the Predaplan Verte Anaconda, as well as the Union Carrier and the Topologic Trisbana to help us with that back row removal in our extra deck boards. And finally, our Exceed monsters, we are running a Performance Trapeze Magician, a Traptrix Rafflesia, and of course the Dingirsu. I really feel like Dingirsu is good to protect us against destruction effects, as well as giving us that free center grave with some of the stuff that we can't actually handle too well. So that rounds off the extra deck. Now, the only changes to the side deck this week were I did decide to go through and pull out of our opening this week the Psyframe Gamma and Driver package. Even though we've only got 2 copies of the Gamma and Driver, I feel like putting that into the side deck. I am considering putting it into the main deck, but I feel like that for now the side deck will suffice. I don't want to clog up the main deck with too many hand traps, so in the side deck for now will be a good enough option. But I am making this deck profile before I head to locals, so something might change. If it does change, I will let you know in the recap at the end, if I remember, of course. Other than that, there weren't too many other changes. I really feel like that this is a fairly strong deck, and based on the cards that I have at my disposal right now, putting this into the side deck will strengthen that sideboard up a little bit. Other than that, we're playing back row removal, we're playing our usual trap cards like Solemn Strike and Compulsory Evac Device. Paleozoic Dynamiscus will come up as well, and I am maybe looking at grabbing a couple more copies of that as it goes on. I will have to see what set that came out in though. But that's the deck profile, guys. I want to go and play some Yu-Gi-Oh! Let me know in the comments any changes you think I should make to the deck. What product do you want to see me open in the upcoming episodes? I do have some 2020 Mega Tins on the way, and it is time to open those up very, very soon. We're going to start setting up for that Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Thank goodness he's finally arrived. See you on the other side of the duels, guys. I hope you enjoy.
It's time to duel!
What's up, guys? We are back with another week of duels here. Week 16. We are currently sitting at 25 wins, 31 losses, and 1 draw after 57 matches, giving us a win percentage of 43.5%. We are looking at another 4 rounds this week to try and boost that win percentage up a little bit higher. Alright, guys, round 1 we came up against Dylan and his Dragon Link deck. Fingers crossed that the replays do look okay. There will be a little bit of glare that I could not avoid, but fingers crossed it still looks okay for you guys out there. So what we did first is we sent an aerial to the graveyard. We of course went into our Tsuchinoko. We go into a copy of Shaddoll Window using Wendy's effect to special summon a beast to my side of the field. Not too familiar to this deck, my opponent actually made the mistake of not reading Winder, and he was locked into his single special summon of Striker Dragon. He had no way to negate the effect, which means it was over to me pretty quick to go into something pretty special. What we did here was we went into our Beast, we went into our Shaddoll Incarnation to flip up the Hedgehog once again. Went into El Shaddoll Construct to quickly round out this game. Thinking about what to do next, basically went straight into the battle phase to take game 1 just like that. Finishing on a huge token that I used when I Nibiru here. Dylan, he couldn't really do too much, but what I did here was I went into a construct using an El Shaddoll, using a Shaddoll Wendy and the token that was summoned by, well, not the token, my Nibiru actually. And what the goal here was to go into a little bit of extra plays. And there we see Cross Sheep for the first time coming out. Going clutch here. I couldn't do a lot, but basically what I was able to do was to bring back the construct using the reincarnation and then using Cross Sheep's effect, because a fusion monster was special summoned to his own and points to bring back an aerial, giving me one more material to go into something a little bit better. Here's where I had a little bit of fun. I got my... started using some resources from the graveyard, went into the battle phase, and then attacked for game. We are 1-0 going into round 2, and as you can see on the screen, we came up against Dino DNA. Now, this deck has been absolutely outstanding in recent events. Really, really pushing forward, especially getting that barrier statue on the board and absolutely destroying opponents. What I was able to do, what I tried to do there was I did try to bring in the Anaconda, but he swiftly sent that back to my hand. I would have probably waited until I activated the effect to take the 2,000 life points damage, but he didn't. He just shotgunned the Compulse and went from there. Now, this is where the glare does come up on the screen, guys, and I do apologise, but it is Soul Eating Overraptor and a baby Cerosaurus. So he goes into the Nightmare Phoenix, doesn't activate the effect, and tries to do it again later on, not knowing that it was only on summon. Goes into the Giant Rex, uses the UTC to flip down my face-up monster. Goes into, I believe that is a Lagia, attacks over my Phantasme. Having a quick read there, because it is a while since I've come up against dinosaurs. I used Super Poly and his UTC to go into a copy of El Shaddoll Construct. I'm able to use some effects from the graveyard here to start recurring a few more resources, but I do know that I am going to have to be careful that I don't just fall into his special summon trap. He uses the Lagia to negate the effect of the Shaddoll Fusion. What I am able to do here is get out another copy of El Shaddoll Construct using the Trick Clown. I did use the Shaddoll Fusion from my graveyard. I did use the Shaddoll Fusion materials from my deck. Was able to push for some damage, go into a Dingirsu and send his baby Ceresaurus. Because it wasn't destroyed, it doesn't get its effect, and he can't recur those resources. Having a little bit of fun here, I now have some pretty big damage on the board. I go into a copy of Union Carrier. I search out the Buster Dragon, knowing that he probably won't go into too many extra deck monsters anyway, but it does give Dingirsu that extra 1000 attack. The Trapeze Magician's effect to give Dingirsu 2 attacks, and I attack into Dom for game. Go into game 2. My Mathematician unfortunately was negated, but I do get to bring back the Tsuchinoko to go into my Anaconda. I use Anaconda to send an El Shaddoll, and I go into a copy of Winder. I pass turn, and as you can see, that Dogaran took care of that Winder quick smart. Not only did he take care of the Winder, but he negated the effects of Winder in the graveyard, so I couldn't get that El Shaddoll card back. I'm basically sitting here just letting him go off with his turn, and there's not much I can do to stop it. He's got Litho Sajim on the field. Great to see that one back off the ban list from not the list just come, but the one before that. He goes into the Nightmare Phoenix. He tries to pop my Shaddoll Incarnation. Just letting him go here. He attacks using UTC. I take a heap of damage, and then he swings into me for game. Let's go to game 3. Unfortunately, we ran out of time early on, and it was a draw. My man Kev, picked up his Eldlich Numeron deck, and god damn, I hate this card. What he didn't realise was that he normal summoned Planet Pathfinder to search out that Numeron network. Unbeknownst to him, I had Nibiru in hand, and I simply put it on the board, getting rid of all of his XYZ monsters. What he is able to do though, he goes into the Eldlich, the Golden Lord, and he is still able to do a significant amount of damage. I use an El Shaddoll Construct to try and do something here, but unfortunately he has all of the answers. I send Golden Lord back to hand, well I try to, but he chains one of those trap cards to get rid of my Construct. I go into the Rafflesia knowing that the Golden Lord is in hand, and here is where the the Gravedigger's Trap Hole comes in handy. I negate the effect of the Golden Lord, and of course burn him for 2000 damage. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough, and he was still able to push for game. There is that Numeron network again. He gets S0 on board, and there's not a lot I can do. I have to wait out, setting a few monsters here to do a few things. Unfortunately, he passes it back to me. He uses the effect of S0 again. I get no effect off of my Mathematician, but I am able to attack over for game. Kev goes into his turn. Once again, uses the effect. There is not a lot I can do. And 4 Exceed monsters on the field. Knowing their effects, he unfortunately kills me for game. We are sitting at 1 win, 1 loss, and 1 draw in this week's tournament. And our last round was a bit of a mirror match, and the Dogmatika Shaddolls. Ben, I've played you 1,000 times before. We always have some really good duels. It's great to see the interactions and some similar cards in this deck, but I think with the Dogmatika engine, Ben definitely had the upper hand going into this game. Not knowing what was face down, I didn't want to attack. I basically wanted to see what he had. So he goes into his monsters, but then he summons the Abyss Dweller. He pulled that ulti the week before, I think, and it looks pretty special. Knowing that I don't have any graveyard effects now, he's not really going to have to do too much work to go into it. I do get the flip summon effect off of Beast and Wendy to do some special summoning and some drawing, but there won't be a lot else to do. He is going to shotgun Dweller's effect, so I don't get any graveyard effects. I am able to go into my copy of El Shaddoll Construct, going to another copy of El Shaddoll Construct, sending a Shaddoll Incarnation for next turn. He goes into Schism, knowing that he's able to get rid of my monster off the board and swing into me next turn for game. Final game, guys. I can tell you now that this one did not end well for me. Ben started out with the Ecclesia, did his searching, but I was able to set that, put that Gamma on the board. so much for putting that in the deck. That was a pretty amazing side deck choice. I then was able to negate his monster, his beast, with impermanence. But he got that schism on the board, did some special summoning, and there wasn't much else I could do. I used the Shaddoll incarnation on my field to bring back the dragon and to flip face up to send his Winder back to his deck. Because he does have an extra deck monster, I was able to go into my Shaddoll Fusion, but he always has the Ash. If there's anyone lucky enough to always have that Ash Blossom, it is Ben. Here's where it gets dicey. He swings into me. I have a Squamata, but there's not a lot I can do. He goes into the Construct, does some banishing of his own, still proceeding to the battle phase. I don't have many answers here. All I can do is pass it back to Ben, and unfortunately we go 2 losses, 1 win, and 1 draw. Round 16 progress, we played 61 matches, we've won 26, lost 33, and we had our second draw. We are currently sitting at a win percentage of 42.6%. We need to do better. See you in the recap, guys.
The next day.
What's up, guys? I'm not going to ramble on too much this week in the recap. The duels spoke for themselves. While we were able to make some pretty decent changes to the deck, we didn't perform as well as I might have hoped. Adding the Gamma package to the deck really did add some consistency to being able to start stopping my opponents a little bit more. I do think in the future I will be moving that into the main deck. I would like to give a huge shout out to everyone out there who I played this week at the Dark Magician in Ipswich. Without you guys allowing me to do this, it would make these videos extremely hard and we wouldn't be watching these live duels. Our win record is still looking not so great right now. We're still sitting under that 45% mark, and by the end of, say, September, October, I would like to see that start moving back to that 50%. We would like to push into that 60-70% range, but time will only tell to see whether or not the deck is powerful enough to do that. Looking forward, guys, we need to have a look at where our priorities lie. I do know that the 2020 Mega Tins are out, and we are looking for one of those Dragoons. It does mean I'm going to have to start getting ready for that by opening up some of the, I need a Red Eyes, Black Dragon, I need a Dark Magician, and of course the Red Eyes Fusion. One of the other priorities will be opening up some more Shadow Specters to try and find that Black Dragon. It also came out in an ultra rare in Battle of Legends Heroes Revenge, but that's pretty much as rare as Hen's Test to find as well. I'm not sure if I'll bother going in for more Toon Chaos. I just don't know if it's worth it. I guess you're just going to have to stick around for episode 17 next week to see what we open up and to see what we can add to the deck to make it even more powerful than it is. We're getting so close to that 20 episode mark, guys, so don't forget to make sure you're subscribed. I know a lot of you out there are watching these videos, but you're not hitting that subscribe button. If you haven't committed to that subscribe button, now is the time to do that. So scroll down the page a little bit, hit that button, and you'll definitely get notified when the new episode of Sealed Only Shaddolls is alive and ready for you to watch. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is episode 16 of Sealed Only Shaddolls. I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching.